Hey, Shalom, it's your brother Yonathan. All right, first and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Dash, I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. I want to say Shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. All right, may the blessing of election be upon your house. Got some clips for you guys. We're going to respond to them through the spirit. Abaratazar, the lesson is edifying. So we're going to play this first clip of a guy named Nick Fuentes. Okay, he's going to talk about the black fatigue that Edomites have. And we'll key in on some of the points that he makes and bring out precepts along the way. All right, so no further ado, let's get started.
I'm trying to tell you how white people feel. And I'm trying to tell you the truth. And here's the truth of the matter. White people are just fucking done. We're done with the excuses. We're done with the white guilt. We are done with crybaby, ethnic, narcissist black people that cannot handle an adult conversation about race. We're done. We pay up the ass in property taxes not to live near these people. We work hard. We pay our taxes. We go to work. We work our fingers to the bone to create a good quality of life for ourselves and for our families. And it has been ceaselessly sabotaged for decades by these fucking animals. And by that, I don't mean every black person. I mean these predators. I mean these opportunists. I mean these adolescents. Where are the parents? Where's the community now? Where are they? I'm talking about these young adolescent men, black men, that film themselves running over a physics professor on his bike in New Mexico, laughing and kill him. I'm talking about the young black men that break into 20 businesses in Downers Grove overnight and loot the cash registers. I'm talking about the teen takeovers, the gangbangers. We don't want to live near this stuff anymore. And we all know what's going on. We all know who's doing it. We all know what it is. And we're sick and tired of black people not being able to be honest about it, not being able to take any responsibility. It's always someone else's fault. It's always some white person's fault. It's racism. It's poverty. It's the culture. It's the New Deal, the Great Society. It's Lyndon Johnson. It's the Democrats. You know what? No, I think it's you. I think it's just you.
Yeah. So, we're going to run that back, and we're going to pause it this time as we go through it and bring our precepts along the way. Okay? 2/3 of our people are wicked. 2/3 of our people are pieces of shit, man. Okay? But the piece of shit on the face of the earth would be the Edomites. Okay? The so-called white man. And not every single person that looks like a so-called white person is an Edomite. Not every single person that looks like a so-called black, Latino, or Native American person is an Israelite. Okay, it's about the spirit that the Lord puts in the body. Okay, you're going to take on physical features from both parents, but the spirit is attached to the seed of the Father. And over time, that can start to look like anything. We've been scattered into every nation under heaven. Okay, I'm looking at a field right now. If I planted some orange seeds in this field, and then some in a field near you, some in Russia, China, okay, planets, and they were all orange seeds. All those trees, when they grow out of these various lands, land representing the woman, the trees are going to bear what? Orange fruit, regardless of the land that it was planted in. They may have different little features and little nuances about them because of the various lands, but all the fruit is going to go back to what the seed that was planted, which were orange seeds. So same thing with the man and the woman. All right, the man carries the seed, and you are what your father is. That's how the scriptures determine lineage, despite what the devil teaches. Now, the Edomite was created to be the wicked. There's nowhere around that. Like the scriptures say, a leopard can't change his stripes. His role in the Most High's movie is to be the antagonist, to be against righteousness, to be against the ways of life. Okay, and Nick Fuentes himself is an Edomite and an accuser of the brethren, and we'll get that precept as we go through. But let's put the video back up on the screen. I got a bunch of clips today. All right, so let's start this over from the jump. Let's get it.
I'm trying to tell you how white people feel, and I'm trying to tell you the truth. And here's the truth of the matter. White people are just fucking done. We're done with the excuses.
They're done because, I'll make it a little smaller. The Edomite is frustrated because they're losing their kingdom. The benefits they once had, the so-called glory they once had is slipping away. As the scriptures say, the devil knoweth he hath but a short time. And trickling all the way down to little peons like Nick Fuentes. Because the real problem, of course, is the elites of the nation of Edom. Which would be the Amalekites, the small hats, the banking families. And not the ones that you get to see. Those are, anybody that you get to see is somebody they put in front of you to see. All right? But even this frustration is trickled down all the way to the peons like Nick Fuentes, whatever his name is. Okay, so they are frustrated, and they need somebody to blame themselves, and they're gonna blame it on, Jake. Now Jake is a huge problem. 2/3 of our people, as the scriptures say, are gonna perish. 2/3 should be cut off and die. Zechariah 13:8. But the root of the whole earth being in disarray, constant war being fought all over the earth, the food, the air, the minds of the people has all been tainted by this family of people. And even the bullshit that Jake does, who set them on that path? Let's be honest. Even when our people built their own towns and wanted to be separate because you had segregation going on, cool. We'll build our own towns. We'll have our own hospitals. We'll have our own schools. We'll do this. Your asses came through and bombed them, flooded these towns. We're just talking about here in America. But the Edomite, they in their mind, that was in the past. What do the scriptures say about the things you did in the past? Because we are our forefathers to those who've been learning. We know this. And we'll come back to Revelation 12, talking about the accuser of the brethren. Okay? This is Isaiah 14:21. It says, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers. In Isaiah 14, it's talking about the wicked. Okay, and how they're going to be stripped from their power seat. A great chapter to read along with Isaiah 47 chapter. But this is Isaiah 14:21. Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers. Iniquity is sin upon sin. Okay? That they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities, which they've done. So once they're stripped out of power, man, the Lord's not going to allow you to be back on top again. This is the nation of Edom's last go around. Okay, after this it's just bondage, and then Obadiah 1:18 takes place. So regardless how frustrated white people are, how they feel, Edomites are through. Two people in the scriptures were promised world domination. That was Jacob and Esau. The difference between the two is that the Edomites' kingdom was a temporary one. Ours, to be eternal. Okay? And that's what they're trying to achieve. They're trying to prolong their kingdom to make it an everlasting kingdom with this technology, with the fourth industrial revolution, by chipping, all of the people upon the face of the earth. They're not going to succeed. Okay? So, somebody who's in the know, we could give a damn about how these people feel. We could give a damn about how we feel. The Lord is the one that's orchestrating all the pieces on the board. And his will is that you're taken down and taken into captivity. And that you pay for all the evil that your people have done. And you're the same spirits coming back. Okay? Let's go to back to Revelation 12. All right? Getting the accuser of the brethren. It's Revelation 12. And I'll start at 9, the point is in 10. This is Revelation 12:9. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan. There's a people upon the earth pursuing the 2 Thessalonians 3, or is it 2? 2 Thessalonians 2 and 9. Double check it here. Yeah, there's a people upon the face of the earth, pursuing the 2 Thessalonians 2 and 9, who their whole coming, their whole energy is after the working of Satan. This is 2 Thessalonians 2 and 9. It says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders. And I want to jump up to verse 4. It says, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Okay? One people upon the earth are saying things like, we don't need God, we can make our own water. That's no Yuval Harari, a small hat who sits at the head of the World Economic Forum. There's one people upon the earth who are directly challenging God, taking the fruits and patenting the fruits, making their own variation, a strain of different seeds, and saying, no, I made this. This is my creation. There's one people upon the earth who's trying to hijack the creation of the Lord. All right, 2 Thessalonians 2 and 9 again. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders. Okay? When you talk about, let's get that word here in the Greek. Bear with me. You get that word, the working. It's the word is on G1753. G1753. Energia.
Strong's G1753. Energia.
Energia. Working efficiency. In the New Testament, used only of superhuman power, whether of God or of the devil. And they do a lot. There's a lot of spell casting that they've done on the minds of the people, and they're going to take it even further with this technology, which is just another form of, power on the left-hand side that the Lord has allowed them to have. Okay, now we go back to Revelation 12 and 9. It reads, and the great dragon, okay, this is one of his titles. It's one of the Edomites' titles. And the great dragon, which was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He's the master deceiver. The word devil means deceiver. He cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Okay, and this is just going into how Esau, with his philosophies, with his wine, and you compare this with Habakkuk 2 and 5. Okay, now we go to verse 10. It says, and I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God and the power of the Mashiach, for the accuser of the brethren is cast down. So when the Lord returns and sets up the kingdom of heaven, there's a people that are called the accuser of the brethren. What is Nick Fuentes doing right now in this clip? Okay, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night. Okay, Jacob's brother Esau, he's the accuser of the brethren. Okay. I'll stop it right there. Let's keep going with this clip.
We're done with the white guilt. We are done with crybaby, ethnic, narcissist black people.
Yeah, they're ramping up back to that old proud spirit that they once were in, and that's prophecy too. You know what I mean? And people are going to be showing their true colors. Okay, men that have this mindset amongst them, they're going to be the ones there are the ones that have joined ICE and these different groups, and they're going to be a part of those people. As the scriptures say, Esau should be like a madman, sparing none. They're going to be, men like that are going to be a part of the groups that are carrying out the atrocities done against our people in these latter days. So they're ramping up back to that point. That's what you're saying.
I cannot handle an adult conversation about race. We're done.
I would like to see who, I got an idea of the demographic he's talking about. He said he can't handle an adult conversation about race. Well, this is a very adult. This is a godly conversation about race and what you were created for. There was a family of people who were given the covenant. They were disobedient and they've been punished for it. Okay? And the Lord used you, your people, to punish them for it. But a recompense is going to be for that, you know. Captivity is going to be brought upon your own head, as it talked about in Joel, the 3rd chapter. It's going to be brought upon your own head for all the evil that you've done, regardless of how any of us personally feel about it. That's what the Lord has ordained. Just what it is. Let's go to Joel 3 real quick. Joel 3 and 9. All right, it says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. And this Gentiles here is talking about the other nations, the going. Okay? Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. So Joel, the 3rd chapter, is detailing the war of Armageddon, World War III. And the nations, you know, how they're going to be involved, or what's going to happen, proceed after the conclusion of this war. All right? Joel 3 and 10. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. So this is going to all the nations militarizing in this final conflict. Verse 11, assemble yourselves, and come all ye heathen, gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Now Yahweh Shai and the fleet of angels, they're going to intervene within the midst of World War III. This is detailed in the book of Ezra. All right. Let the heathen be wakened, and let them come to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. And the Lord gives you even a location. In the Hebrew, that's Yahweh Shaphat, okay? Meaning Yahweh has judged, and that's Strong's H3092, okay? So over there in, they call it the Middle East, but Western Asia, where the big battle is going to take place, all right? Verse 13, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get ye down, for the press is full, the fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. The sun and moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw from their light. Now back up here in verse 6, it talks about, you know, how your people are going to be going, talking to Nick Fuentes and Edomites, how his people are going to be sent into captivity. How even the Hamites, all those who had a hand in our demise as a people, how there's going to be a recompense for them, because all the nations are going into captivity, but chiefly who's going to get the bitter end of the stick would be the Edomites. It's Joel 3 and 6. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem, all 12 tribes, have ye sold unto the Grecians. Okay. Who are the Grecians? Okay, now the original Grecians were dark people, but who took over the land and took on and called themselves the Greeks? Who takes over all the lands and calls themselves the people of the land? Okay, after Alexander, these people took over Egypt. They started calling themselves the Egyptians, and they portrayed themselves as the Egyptians in Egyptian movies, knowing damn well they weren't the people in Egypt. But you know, it's plain to see. Joel 3 and 6, the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border. Okay? And the Arabs had played a hand in our demise as well. Okay? Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah. You're going to be sold into captivity, but not just sold, you're going to be sold unto us. We're going to be selling you amongst each other. All right? We're going to be given all things in the earth. That includes the people in it. All right? And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and shall sell them to the Sabians, to a people far off. For the Lord hath spoken it. So this is what the Lord has ordained. This is an adult conversation for your ass.
We pay up the ass in property taxes, not to live near these people. We work hard. We pay our taxes. We go to work. We work our fingers to the bone.
Yeah, you're a debt slave even to the elites of your own people, and you're frustrated about it. I get it. But I believe Nick Fuentes, he does go into, the small hat a little bit. But I think he's set up as well. Anybody gets on a particular level within mainstream media, they've been allowed to get there. All right, so yeah, even Edomites, man, they're debt slaves. They're not exempt from the conditions that the elites of Edom have brought upon the earth.
To create a good quality of life for ourselves and for our families. And it has been ceaselessly sabotaged for decades by these.
Is he saying that the ability to dominate and control industry and to benefit from white supremacy has been, what is he saying? Has been attacked and we've our people had the power to attack it? In what way? The discord that is sold here in Babylon the Great, the small hat always has a hand in it. He fucking knows that. But he's an Edomite, so he has hatred for, Israelites. We're not the real thorn in the Edomite side. The real thorn in everybody's side is the top of Edom. We are a thorn in the side in a spiritual sense. Because as long as we're around, the kingdom is going to be, it's on the way. It's going to be the what does it say in Sirach 10:8? Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. So yeah, the threat of the kingdom being taken from you, we're a problem in that regard. But the conditions upon the earth, we don't have power over how society functions. The curses will tell you that. And this guy's racist, but that's okay because you're supposed to be racist. You're supposed to be for your people. But our people have not in this kingdom ever had the power to be prejudiced. Prejudice and racism are two different things. Somebody could be racist, but it doesn't mean they're able to be prejudiced. To be prejudiced, you're able to legislate your bias. Our people have never been in a position to legislate our bias. Our people have never been in a position to tailor industries towards our own personal benefit, ever. So I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. This is some bullshit rhetoric, but we'll let him continue.
Fucking animals. And by that, I don't mean every black person. I mean these predators. I mean these opportunists.
2/3 of our people are animals, right? The scriptures liken the Edomite to a beast man, a beastly nature. The beast system, the image of the beast. To be a beast in the scripture is to be without order, okay? Without the order of Yahweh Shah. So with all the people upon the face of the earth, they're beasts. They don't abide by the order that the Lord has commissioned the chosen family, the family of the heavens, to walk by. So they could be likened unto beasts. I think this is the beautiful thing about this knowledge. You can hear shit like this and just take it for what it is. Yeah, you might, this motherfucker, but you're able to see from a God's eye view. Like, oh, okay. You digest things a lot differently than people in the world would. Let's continue on.
I mean, these adolescents, where are the parents? Where's the community now? Where are they?
Where's the community now? He's going to mention it even later in this clip. He talked about the Greater Society Acts, where, the government came to our families or to our women and said, hey, we'll give you this government aid, but the man can't be in the home. You take the man out of the home, you destroy the nation. That's where the community went. Your people dismantled us. They did their job. But then you turn around and say, just like it talks about, we read in Revelation 12 and 10, you turn around and say, where's the community? See, look at this is the accuser of the brethren at his finest. it makes me smile on the inside because this is, you know, seeing things like this is just confirmation that the scriptures, you're exactly who the scriptures say that you are. You know what I mean? It's no denying it. And we know exactly what the scriptures says is going to happen to you, what your end is going to be. So let this guy talk his shit. I don't mind you talking your shit, because at the end of the day, you're going into captivity. You're going into hardcore captivity. And we're going to do the unlawful shit that you did to us, but it's going to be double, like it talks about in Revelation 18:6. It's going to be horrible. Oh my goodness.
I'm talking about these young adolescent men, black men, that film themselves running over a physics professor on his bike in New Mexico, laughing, and kill him. I'm talking about the...
Say that. Okay, I don't, that's news to me. Let's say it happened. We could never make up in these bodies the amount of rapes, the amount of murders, even unto this day, that the so-called white man does, and that doesn't get reported. You guys just walk away scot-free because it's your kingdom, okay? Get it? But you're gonna take that one standoff and try to measure it up against the evil that your people have done? Come on, dude. Just be proud. Just be the proud and say, you know, we're right and we're right. Just go, but don't try to justify, you know, your stances with logic, because it's not logical. There's no way the so-called white man can ever say, well, look what they did to us. Look at what you guys. You can never be the victim. You'll never be able to play that victim card where we're standing up because of this. Fuck that. You guys could never play the victim ever. You're about to get that opportunity. You're about to be a victim, but up until this point, you can never play that card ever. That's what the small ass try to do with that 6 million number, which is fabricated. All right, go. The whole hollow thing was fabricated. But let's continue on.
Black men that break into 20 businesses in Downers Grove overnight and loot the cash registers. I'm talking about the teen takeovers, the gangbangers. We don't want to live near this stuff anymore.
Found out, I believe it was New Jersey. A lot of the business owners that were getting looted, they were paying these young jakes to come in there and loot the store because they took insurance out, and they just got all that money back anyway. Like some kind of looter's insurance. They would pay Jake, and then they would pay these little Jake to go in there and loot, and then they would get the insurance claim. But on the surface of what he's saying, he could spin it to other Edomites they're the fucking idiots. He can spin it to them like, oh, he's right, he has a point. He doesn't have a point. Let's continue on.
And we all know what's going on. We all know who's doing it.
With the Twin Towers, the same way an insurance claim was set up on it for T attacks prior to 911. Same way. But a guy like this will spin that narrative and get people riled up. But they're going to get riled up regardless. I don't mind.
We all know what it is, and we're sick and tired of black people not being able to be honest about it, not being able to take any responsibility. It's all...
The majority of our people, they can't take accountability because they were raised by the so-called nigger woman. Now, there's going to be women in the elect, obviously. So to those sisters, if you're of the elect, hey, obviously it's not for you. But majority of our women, man, they can't take accountability. And they raise the generations of kids that you see. They raise the generation of men that you see walking around today. It's a divine miracle that we're here, snap back into reality, and able to be in our, our masculinity according to the Lord's standard, and see clearly. It's a miracle, right? You know, a lot of brothers did come from, not having their dad around. A lot of brothers did have their father in their life. It's a balance. It's a mix. But we all have, the primary father in our life now to guide our decisions and judgment. You see, I want to go to Ezekiel 35:5. Okay, it talks about the perpetual hatred that this man has for the nation of Israel, and it burns bright unto this day, as you can see. All right, Ezekiel 35:5, it says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by force of the sword, which the Edomites, the blessing was the sword going back in Genesis. The blessing that Isaac gave Esau, the bootleg, the great value blessing. Okay, the blood of the children of Israel by force of the sword, in the time of their calamity, and the time when their iniquity had an end. And this devil, we were given over into his hand, but he took things much too far. Way too far with the affliction. So, there's a recompense that he's going to play with that. Okay, to back that up, let's go to Zechariah 1:15. It says, and I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease, for I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction. Okay, so we were delivered into the hands of the heathen, man, but they took that shit way further than they needed to go. And the Edomites have always been on that time. Raise it, right? They've always been on that time. So there's a recompense coming for, this whole nation of people. So, let them have their fun. Let them have their podcast.
Someone else's fault. It's always some white person's fault. It's racism. It's...
The Edomites are the source of the problem. That's not news. Okay? Now, 2/3 of our people have always been disobedient, and they have a horrific judgment that they got to walk through. They've been disobedient. They've been pieces of shit. They were the same spirits murmuring in the wilderness, had us walking around the wilderness for 40 years. They were the same spirits that were killing the prophets. They were the same spirits that said, crucify him, crucify him. So, 2/3 of our people, as the scriptures say, are pieces of shit, and they gotta go. But you wear the crown when it comes to being a piece of shit. Edomites, hands down, wear the crown.
Poverty, it's the culture, it's the New Deal, the Great Society, it's Lyndon Johnson, it's the Democrats. You know what? No, I think it's you. I think it's just you.
And we know it's you. We don't think. The scriptures say it's the Edomites. The scriptures say it's Edomites are the problem. When the Lord returns, you're the people who have to be stripped from rulership. 2nd Ezra 6:9, for Esau is the end of the world, meaning the age, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. The Edomites are the problem, indeed. There's no question about that. No question about it. And to be more specific, the tribe of Amalek, the head tribe of Edom, are specifically the problem. And they're the people that you can't talk about. You can't really speak on them. Okay? There was a law just passed that you can't burn an Jewish flag. I'll let this clip play.
Congress officially made it illegal to burn the Israeli flag on American soil, so I can legally say, without this being taken down, if you can burn your own flag, the American flag, but you can't burn the Israeli flag, because they made it illegal through corporate lobbying and sexual blackmail to burn theirs in your own country, you're probably not as American as you think. If you can't say from the river to the sea without it being classified as hate speech because Congress says so, then you're probably working for the country that is paying to pass those laws in your country. Now that white people can't lie about how much money the slaves were making, we're getting slammed into the colonial pulverizer, another pawn for the global corporate white supremacist network of trillionaires, really. Like, why do you think Elon doesn't want to stop? There's bloodlines. Like, there's 1,400 billionaires. You only know about 60 of them. We all get that the secret billionaires are the ones who put Trump and Putin into power in order to drain the resources from economies that are in decline, right? We're on sale. Trump is here to make a deal. He always sells. Countries work just like the housing market. When the value gets low, someone swoops in and installs a puppet government. You ever wonder why you can't talk about this in Saudi Arabia and now in Egypt? You know that white supremacy cloaked as corporate Christianity or governmentally subsidized Judaism is just a front for land grab wars because they're going to throw the soldiers in the same mass graves that they throw the war victims in. They're going to send home the families a little trophy that says #1 dyer, but they end up in the same place. Judaism is 1,000 years old. Zionism is not. These people are destroying the religion in the same way that Republicans bastardized Christianity to kill off the natives, enslaved the Africans, and still act like they did nothing wrong. I haven't met one Jewish American person that liked going to Israel. They all said it was terrifying. So if you have any birthright trips, let me know. We're just in Ohio, and we were like, oh my God.
So he said a lot. But the overarching theme is the small hats have their hand in everything. Everything that's going wrong in the earth, the wicked, all right, play the part. And you don't necessarily get to see these powers that play out in the open. So a lot of people, they look at the people next to them. They look at the neighbors. They look at the people in their city and they say, they must be the problem. Because they don't have any foresight. They can't see through the spirit. They're low level. That's just majority of people. Even people like Nick Fuentes. I got some more clips for you guys. Here's another one. Then I got some funny clips at the end for you.
What were our troops doing in a foreign country that never attacked us, huh?
So a lot of the low-level Edomites, man, you'll hear a lot of them speaking up. And this guy may not be an Edomite. I don't know. You can't tell by looking at a person what they are. Okay? The spirit, is what determines who a person is. If they're able to understand the fullness of the gospel and it resonates with their spirit, it's because they're Israelite. Because only those who are Israelites will understand the fullness of this gospel. And the scriptures say none of the wicked would understand. Okay? But, this guy's, he's going to speak on the evils of the corporation that is America.
What were they doing over there? Invading a foreign country. I don't believe in that.
You don't believe in 9/11?
In a little bit of context, as he's speaking, there's a military troop that came up to into his service. He's a pastor, military guy that came up to his service, and he's basically speaking on, hey man, I don't agree with you went to fight for. And he's speaking to the dude. The whole congregation is talking to him and looking at him. He'll go into it as the clip goes.
Who here believes the official version on 9/11? Look around the room. Are you looking around? Look around.
Wake up.
Who believes the official story on 9/11? Okay, who believes 9/11 was an inside job? Yes. Look around. Now, you told us before the service that God led you here. Maybe this is what God wanted you to find out, that 9/11 is a fraud, and that our country actually has the satanic world government located in New York. It's called the United Nations, and our country is taking over the whole world for Satan and Israel. Okay, that's what's really going on. And honestly, I'm sure that a lot of troops over there have their heart in the right place, and they think they're fighting for America and for freedom, and they're fighting for good things. But I'm sorry, it's wrong. Yep. And you know what? They tell the troops, like, oh, we need to go fight these horrible Muslims because they put homosexuals to death. Is that what they told you? Yeah, so that we can bring faggotry to the Middle East. Let's bring all the faggots to the Middle East so they can all be like Tel Aviv. Look, the bottom line is, my friends, I am not pro-war, and I'm never going to be pro-war, and the Bible is not a pro-war book, and this aggressive...
Scriptures say the Lord is a man of war. Let me actually get that real quick. Exodus 15:3. The Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name. The Lord commissions all the wars. The Lord commissions all the battles. You know what I mean? But he's going to send his son to win the end, the war of all wars. Okay? But let's let him continue to speak.
We're going to take over the world and put a military base in every country is not biblical, and I want nothing to do with it. And I believe in self-defense, and I believe in defending our nation, but I do not believe in invading foreign countries because of phantoms and boogie.
It is biblical that this devil would, dominate the earth in this fashion and cause it all right, to receive a mark to even exist within the society that he's created. That is biblical. Even, Edomites rising up and speaking against, themselves. tongue shall fall upon themselves. What he's doing right now is also biblical.
Man, that our own government has created for the profit of the military-industrial complex. That's the true story. That's what's going on. And you know what? Honestly, you know, if you want to promote a pro-war position, I mean, you know, you're in the wrong place. I mean, nobody here wants to hear it. Amen. You know what I mean? Honestly, and look, I love you, my brother, and I'm sorry that the sermon is offending you, but honestly, this is where I stand, and this is where our church stands. Because of the fact that, you know, being a sniper and say, well, you saved lives. You know what else saved lives? You know what else saved American lives? Nuking Hiroshima and Nagasaki. That saved American lives, right? Because then we didn't have to, yeah, and it also murdered and massacred hundreds of thousands of women and children, and that is a sin.
Children being killed, women in war, that's not a sin. The Lord commissioned for the whole tribe of Amalek to be destroyed. Don't say, he commissioned Saul to kill them. They wipe them out. He was disobedient, and look, the small hats are being a freaking virus throughout the whole earth today. In Ezekiel, the 9th chapter, the Lord's going to be killing women and children of our own nation. Spirits are ancient. When you don't understand how life and death work, you can get all twisted and bent out of shape about when the Lord kills. Before anybody even dies, the Lord has to okay it first. Did you know that? Let's get that real quick, and then we'll get Ezekiel, the 9th chapter. Okay. Let's get this in Isaiah. First Samuel. There we go. 1 Samuel 2:6. It says, the Lord killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave, and he bringeth up. Okay? So the evils that happen, the Lord commissions it all. Alright? Isaiah 45, and I'll start at I'll just get straight to the point. Isaiah 45:7. It says, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. Now let's go to Ezekiel, the 9th chapter. Alright? Because it talks not to sins and women and children. Okay? There's going to be a lot of death. The Lord's going to commission it all. It's, Ezekiel 9, I'll start at verse 4 to point to 6. It says, the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, which is always a people before it's a place, and set a mark. And that word mark for here in Ezekiel, the 9th chapter, is the wa. Alright, in the Hebrew, being a mark of exemption from judgment. It's different from the word mark in Revelation 13 and 16, which is a Greek word, charagma, which is a physical incision in the flesh, or a badge of the followers of the Antichrist. And the scriptures say there are many Antichrists, right? The Edomites leading that charge. So Ezekiel 9 and 4 again. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And to the others he said in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. Slay, check it out, slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children, and women. And it said, and basically said women twice, maids, and it said women twice. You know, exceedingly. Women are the tip of the spear for evil outside of the so-called damn white man. But come not near any man upon whom is the mark of exemption. And begin at my sanctuary, those who know they're Israelites, know about this ministry, know about Yahweh Shem Shai. And begin at my sanctuary, then they begin at the ancient men which were before the house. So You know, you made some points, but you know, you don't have to full understand it. Okay, now I'm gonna show this clip about the small hats, and you know, it's just a little funny clip to run the video home, and how everybody just swept this shit under the rug. Whenever the small hats do something, it's always swept under the rug. People forget about it and they throw something else in your face. But just a couple years ago, remember this was going on? Remember this?
Trailhead full of zombies. I met a strange lady, she made me nervous. She took me in and gave me breakfast. And she said, do you come from a land down under? I remember.
Oh boy. Alright, so, you know, Abaraz is out of lessons that I want to give all praises once more to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Hashem, Dash, want to give double honors to apostles and the elders, a great millstone. I want to say shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. Alright, may the blessing of election be upon your house. Shalom.